So the next thing we're going to talk with you about is your English language requirement. You can't book your exam until this is satisfied, and you have two ways that you can actually satisfy it. You can either submit your bachelor's degree for them to assess, or you can go take a CELPIP test. For this one, you don't want to procrastinate, you don't want to leave it, because sometimes you don't know whether there's going to be a waiting period before you can get a date booked. So you want to just take care of it right away and get it off of your plate. You want to do it while you're doing your course, right at the beginning, right when you start to study. So it's pretty simple. We have a practice sample test link that we provide for you so that you can kind of get an idea of what it's all about. But Jana's going to give you a few more details so that it kind of eases your mind.
So there's a lot of details that I want to mention to you. One of them, then you should know when to do that test. So again, it's just a test. It's not an exam. So I want to make sure that you understand this. It's not something complicated. And it's not like you have to prepare for that test. I'll be honest with you. 99% of our students, even if you were born in here, right? If English is your first language, it doesn't really matter. If you have a bachelor degree from Canada, then yes, it will be acceptable. Now, they also tell you that if it's a bachelor degree from any other countries, as long as that was done in English, then it could be acceptable. But I just want to kind of give you a little bit of hint. It seems like to approve that bachelor degree, it takes a lot of time. It takes minimum of 6 to 8 weeks just to get some type of approval. And then with the hope that UBC will accept this. And it actually costs $280 for them, or $300 just to look in those documents. And they might ask you for more money and more things. So a lot of people find it by approving bachelor might take you longer time and might be more complicated. And who knows if the UBC gonna like this, because we had a student from England, and English is his first language, that he was born with this, but still they make him take that CELPIP test. So kind of to be on the safer side, I would go for the CELPIP test, right? It's easier and it's faster. You can do it at any country. You can do it anywhere. You can go to Dubai if you want to, right? If you're on vacation, you can go and take that CELPIP test in there, so it's all over the place. The point is you have to make sure that you take the general test. There's two different types. One is as well as listening and speaking, and the other one is the general. General has all the 4 parts. So the 4 parts, as Melanie said, we're going to give you a test to practice. Even if you're born in here, I always tell you guys, practice on that test. Why? Because I want to make sure by the time you go to that CELPIP test, at least it's not a surprise for you. It's not like you're going to be like, oh my gosh, they just asked me to speak for 1 minute and I have no clue what I'm going to say right now. Make it up. Okay, so but if you do the sample test, at least you know what to expect. Right? So that's kind of we're pushing you towards this. We're going to give it to you. We're also going to give you some extra tips, how to accelerate, how to get through that speaking and listening stuff. The easiest part is, of course, is going to be the listening, because that's how it's going to start. First, you're going to listen to the conversation of 2 people talking to each other, and they're going to ask you, so what did they just talk about? Easy stuff. Then the second part.
The one thing that I want to say about that, though, is I had a student tell me that the conversation that she had to listen to was about a topic she knew nothing about. And so she found it more difficult than she thought it was going to be. So her tip was, if you find that they're starting to talk about something that you know nothing about, if you are able to, just write down a few notes. It was about politics for her, and she couldn't remember any of the names because she didn't know anyone in politics because she didn't follow it. So she started writing down names so that she could actually remember those bits and pieces of info. Yeah,
that's a good idea. So they're going to give you a piece of paper, they're going to give you a pen. You can ask for that piece of paper over and over again if you run out of paper, so that's not an issue. I'll give you the accelerated tips how to get through every single part more into detail, so you kind of have that information. But just listening, first it starts with 2 people, then it's 3 people, so it's easier just to put you a piece of paper and 3 pieces, right? And say, okay, that's the guy, that's the 2 girls, they're talking. So again, we'll give you the tips on that. So then it gets to the reading part. Now the reading part is not the easy one. The reading part is when they're going to give you sometimes 4 or 5 different subjects in there, and again, they'll choose something that, space and politics and dieting pills or whatever that is, they can put it there for you, right? And the questions, they're going to be a bit on it, like it's not, you can't find the answers inside of the actual paragraphs. It's going to be based on your understanding of that subject.
And your interpretation of what is said in that segment.
Exactly.
Well.
And then you're going to get to part number 3, which is going to be the writing part. Now, people are always scared of that. Honestly, I thought there's no way that I can write something without the spell check. And again, that's my biggest issue, because everything has a spell check. But on that test, they actually give you the spell check. So this is the best part of it. And they ask you just to write a simple emails. So if you were buying plants for your office, so if you had to rent your basement, how would you put those ads? So again, nothing scary, all basic stuff. Now, we forget to tell you that the whole CELPIP test, it's all you need is level 7 per every single part of it, because out of 12 levels, so level 7 is kind of like middle school or the high school level English. So again, it's not like they're looking for the university level from you. So 7 out of 12, all of you guys are gonna get it, right? So and then the last part is the speaking one, and the speaking one is what, it's funny, it shocks a lot of my Canadian-born students, because they tell you, here, your friend just moved to Canada, sell him on this, so tell him this and this, and you have to speak for 1 minute without interruption, without anything. Just what? Just to understand this, you don't have to talk about your personal life, make up things. So it's not like you have to think of your friend, right? So again, there's a lot of tips we're gonna give you, and that's why I say just do that simple test. There's no preparation needs to be done for this, but if you feel like, yes, English is maybe I'm not as, I don't know, maybe I'm not feeling really, really comfortable with this, then maybe you want to do that CELPIP before you get into the course. That could be a suggestion. But as I said, most of our students, if we speak to them on the phone and they sound they can understand me, then I say just do it during the course, right? That's what would be our suggestion when it comes to CELPIP test. Anything else, Melanie?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay, we done? Good job.
Excellent.
Book it sooner than later.
Yes.